Hey guys, what's up? It's Bibsy7 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today on my RS3 main account. In this one, we are back to the good old Strange Rock collection. No real need to watch the screen. I'm just going to be talking about this week's update in this video, and there's not too much to show for the update itself, so I'm not actually going to be showing too much on the screen. But there is quite a bit to talk about, and some pretty interesting stuff has come out and been changed this week, so I will discuss that here. But yeah, first off, as far as like my account progress is going, I'm still working on going for comp. I've been doing Slayer for the most part. While if I'm not doing like raids or going to like a group boss or anything, then I will pretty much I won't be spending any time doing solo bossing. I'm pretty much doing Slayer at this point. Currently 110 at the moment, and I have a new episode of the Slayer series that can probably be released later this week, although I do have an episode of the Collection King series that is fully edited and commentated, and I just need to render it and upload it, so I'll probably have that out maybe even tonight, but more likely tomorrow at some point that will come out, and then I will probably have a video on the August month ahead, which should come out this week, and also a Slayer series video this week at some point, so you guys can look forward to those. I'm also 117 dungeoneering. I'm pretty sure I talked about this already, but I'm just doing dailies for dunge at this point, and doing Slayer instead while I build up my bonus experience back in dunge if I want to ever do it again, actually training it, because by the time I get 120 Slayer, I'll have gotten a bunch of dunge daily challenges and be able to do those for XP, and also I will have gotten a bunch of XP and bonus XP off my daily keys, so definitely worth me going for the Slayer now, which I much prefer to do and don't hate as much as dunge. But yeah, either way, let's go ahead and get into the update, which you can just see a snippet of it in my chat, but I'm not really going to talk about that part of it too much. The beach did come out as we all had known it was going to come out this week. The beach is back, I guess is what you would say. It's not really a new thing. I'm pretty sure there's almost nothing different with it. They don't really list anything that's big changes about it on the page for it. They just talk about some of the new cosmetics that you can get from it, which look pretty friggin' ridiculous and stupid. But yeah, I'm sure if you have like an Iron Man or something, you can get a bunch of free XP that you wouldn't normally be able to. So if you're like a new Iron Man, you probably want to take advantage of that. If they still have the construction available, that's like super OP, or at least it was last year. So at least for early Iron Man. But either way, I'm not going to talk about the beach too much. It's just another one of these stupid Lumbridge Crater events. I really don't like them as a whole, so I wish they wouldn't do them anymore. But either way, I guess it probably doesn't take away any or much dev time because they're just completely recycling them. So I guess that makes sense. But either way, let's go ahead and talk about the main update for the week, which was the clan improvements. And there are a lot of changes here to clan system and how clans work. I'm not going to go into all of them because there's a ridiculous amount of them. If you go to the patch notes, you can read through them all, but there is a ton of bullet points on there, more than like I've ever seen probably in patch notes. But either way, I'm not going to go through each and every one because there's way too many, and even if you're in a clan, a lot of these changes won't really affect you for the most part, so it's not really worth going through them all. But especially if you're not in the clan, I mean, these things are essentially pointless to even think about. But I think a lot of people tend to be in clans nowadays, especially if you're, a high-level PVMer or looking for people to dupe bosses with. But one of the main things that has been asked for a long time and hasn't been should have been out a while ago if you ask me, is the clan broadcasts. So if you're in a clan, in the past, people would always be spamming grats to people in the clan who were on their friends list, and perhaps you didn't have that person specific in the clan on your friends list, and you have to be that guy who's like, what happened, or what are they gratzing for? So that will no longer happen, because as long as you have it enabled, actually I think you do have to enable it yourself within the settings somewhere, which I haven't done yet, but you'll be able to see like if a clan member gets a broadcast that's either a friends only I think it works for friends only broadcasts as well, but I'm not 100% sure. But at the very least, if they get a world broadcast and not in the same world as you will see the broadcast in the chat as like a clan broadcast. So basically you just get clan announcements and broadcasts, and it has like brackets with the clan name next to it, and then news, person's name has received, and then the drop. So that's pretty sweet that they did that. Makes less confusion. They've also reworked the clan avatars pretty heavily. They they are basically, you don't need to have a clan avatar out anymore in your clan to get the buffs, which is really good because that was kind of annoying for, if nobody wanted to have it out, and you can't have it out with like a regular familiar if you're doing a boss or even doing like Slayer tasks where you bring like a familiar too. So you basically just have to go to the Citadel and you can activate the boost, and I guess I don't understand why you have to activate this boost. Like you basically just have to go there once a week to turn on this boost and get 3% bonus XP. So I do have to do that. I'm just trying to make this video quick while I'm on my lunch break, so I don't really have time to go and do that or anything. But either way, once activated, you can get a base XP boost of 3%, which is the standard, was what it was before. And if you were near the avatar before, you would get 6%, but now you can get up to 6% based on your fealty rank. I don't even know what fealty rank is. I'm not too big into the Clan Citadel or anything like that. I don't really know much about it. But if you have fealty rank 3, you can get up to additional 3% XP, so you'll have a total of 6% XP bonus, which was the maximum before, but that was only if you were near the avatar itself, so you can get that anywhere at this point if you do the fealty enough, which I'm not 100% sure what it is again, but still, that's pretty cool. You can also mute people in your clan chat as like a form of punishment that is not like having them kicked from the clan, which is good, I guess. I think that's an interesting thing they added. There's also a login message now that you can send to the people in your clan every time they log in. So I think they posted this. Okay, you can't see that because I was doing my Dunge Chat daily while I was editing the Collection King video, but basically when you log in, you'll just get a login message from your clan if they have one set, and they can put it to whatever they want, like Solak event, or that's a terrible idea, why'd there be a Solak event, but like AOD mass for the clan at this game time, and you can see that when you log in. It's pretty cool. I think that's a really cool thing. They can just have like whatever your clan wants you to see about in the whenever you log in. So that is pretty much the summary of like the main points. Like I said, there's a crap ton of other bullets on the wiki, or not on the wiki, on the patch notes if you want to read through them all. But those are the main things that, and they changed a bunch of stuff to do with the Clan Citadel as well. Like you get more XP from the skill plots if you're higher leveled in those skills, and just a bunch of changes to the skilling plots and stuff like that. But other than that, there's nothing else that's too huge as far as I can tell, but those were just the main ones that they listed on the actual update page. But again, there is a ton of bullet points on the patch notes if you want to read through them all. Again, I'm just not going to do that because that's a bit ridiculous, but really glad to see that they did this finally, since people have been asking for clan improvements for a long time. And yeah, again, it's it kind of sucks because it isn't new content, and this month was without any new content, but I talked about that more last week, so not going to touch on it too hard here. Hopefully next month is way better, because we already know the Elite Dungeon 2 is coming out next month. If it doesn't come out next month, then I'm probably just going to fucking like lose my mind, but that should be coming out next month. And then, I'd assume they'd have at least one other big or decent update next month as well, because Elite Dungeon 2 was supposed to come out this month, so it's pretty much, basically going to be making up for last month that it's coming out, and they should have something else as well on top of it, but we'll have to see what they do. Anyways, for the other patches for this week, there were some pretty big changes to Solak, as well as some of the, one of the items that he drops, although we had known this beforehand. One big change is only 2 roots will spawn on phase 1 of Solak fight in group mode, and that is the roots that come from the walls and, basically will stun you and destroy you if you are not coordinated with your team. Previously, this was 4 roots, which was a lot, and I don't know, it's kind of good and bad. It removes some of the coordination aspect that you needed to have beforehand to be able to avoid the roots with your team, but I feel like maybe it should be 3. 2 maybe is a little bit too low, because duo has 2, but I guess you gotta have to coordinate all 7 people. I think maybe 3 would be a better idea than just going straight down to 2, but it'll definitely make it a lot less aids trying to do 7-man Solak now, so I'm gonna probably give it a shot again. I have 70 or so KC at Solak. That's all duo, but I haven't been there in a while because I kind of got bored of it. But hopefully I'm definitely going to be heading back there with these changes that they've made and trying it out in 7-man, and also trying to do some more duo kills, because there are some changes that impact that as well. There is a pretty decent change to the Blightbound crossbows. There is a 25% chance that it saves a back criminal bolt when it procs for you, so that's pretty interesting. It's an additional effect that the back criminal bolts have that can, you know, give you a better reason to use them. They have a 25% chance of saving yourself a back criminal bolt. And then this is the big change that might make Duo a little less boring. The blight percentage on phase 2 of Solak will now be drained at a faster rate, and if the hit points cap is reached, the rate it will drain is even faster. So there's going to be a reason now to actually DPS hard as fast as you can and get it to that cap as fast as possible. Previously, there was no real reason to even try to get the cap before you even head to relics, to be honest. Like obviously before you head to relics, you want to be capped, but not, you know, it doesn't matter how fast it is in between then and, you know, the end or whatever, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's good. I'm interested to see how big a difference that makes in speed of the kills. They've also made the Blightbound crossbow drops more common in group mode. Previously, it was the same drop rate for per kill for group man and 7-man, which just made no sense. So glad to see that. And 1 second. Sorry about that, but they also made some pretty big changes to the Arethdore's Grimoire, which was an item that they previously had mentioned they were going to buff, and they've done so. I wish I had bought some, because I was thinking about buying some to invest in for when they inevitably went up when it was buffed, but I was a little worried it could also go down. But it actually was around 250 mil and went up to like 800 at its peak, and now it's still around 550. So kind of missed out on a lot of potential money there, but I don't know, it was a bit risky as well. I wasn't sure if they were actually going to do a good job buffing it, but enough about that. Let's talk about how they changed it, and it's pretty interesting. It's basically a new god book. It goes in your pocket slot now, and it increases critical hit chance by 12%, which is a lot, and increases the damage cap up to 15,000, which is pretty significant. It doesn't specify here if that change is for critical hits, and the damage cap for non-crits will be like 13,000. But if it's for both critical and non-critical hits to cap up to 15,000, that's a huge change, because that'll be you know, pretty massive increase in your damage when you're under like Zerk, Death Swiftness, or Sunshine. Like especially at something like phase 5 of Telos, where you are using a lot of ultimates and like Omni power and stuff to hit those big hits. If you can make them hit even higher, that's going to be pretty huge. And it's basically the same as a god book. So it requires pages to recharge, and you get these pages from Solak as well. They're torn Grimoire pages, and each page recharges it by 45 minutes. So it's assumed that it lasts for a total of 3 hours when fully charged, like the other god books. So that would be 25% of its charge. And the torn Grimoire pages are now dropped by Solak. Now, the way the Grimoire used to work before was it would give you some amount of prayer over a certain amount of time, and it was essentially useless. But that item has not gone away completely. It's just been shifted to a different item, and the Lost Grove creatures, you know, like the Vine Crawlers, Bulbous Crawlers, and Moss Golems, have a new drop, the Ancient Elven Ritual Shard, which works the same way as the Grimoire used to work, restoring 37% of total prayer points over 30 seconds with a 5-minute cooldown. So that is going to be interesting to see if that actually has a decent price or not. Probably won't. It'll probably be cheaper than the Cinderbane gloves. Depends how rare it is, I guess, but it's not a very useful item at all. But that's going to be dropped from the Lost Grove creatures. So this is pretty significant. Obviously, it's going to make Solak a little bit better money as well, not only from just the common, or the assumedly common pages, but also, of course, from the Grimoire itself being worth more. Kind of sucks because I got a Grimoire with my friend when it was like really cheap, and we didn't get a very good what the heck? Okay, I didn't. That's interesting. But yeah, it was only like 75 mil split, but now it would be like a decent like 250 or so mil, 275. So yeah, that's good that they've increased. It's a bit better now. They also fixed moving on from Solak, they also fixed Elite Dungeons a little bit, so that, or the Elite Dungeon, so that you can't really get hit outside the boss fight anymore. It's like, say you die in a group Elite Dungeon, and you wanted to come back to watch the kill, and I guess that allows you to get your loot as well. You'll no longer be hit by the boss while you're outside watching. that's basically the summary of all the bullet points. They all say the same thing. You can't be hit outside the arena of the boss anymore by pretty much anything. So that's good that they finally fixed that, after like a month or so of it being out. Other than that, I don't think there was anything else. I learned one thing in the patch notes today, actually, which I didn't know before, and you guys might not know it either, but this is just because I saw it in the patch notes. Apparently, if you drag something, like, I can disassemble this by bringing it to the invention pouch like that. Everybody knows that, I'm pretty sure, but you can actually drag it to the coin pouch and it will attempt to high alch it. I had no idea that that was a thing, and that'll be pretty useful when I'm on like Iron Man or something and I'm alching a lot of stuff on like Slayer task. Like, just drag it here and it'll alch it for you. That's pretty cool. I never knew that. I'm not sure if anybody else, like if I'm just the only person in the world who didn't know that, but that's something they mentioned in the patch notes. So that's interesting that how that works. Other than that, that's pretty much it for this video, you guys. Definitely excited to try out the new changes at Solak, as well as see how much of a difference the Grimoire actually makes and if it's really worth it to get. I might get one myself. I'm not 100% sure at this point, but we'll have to see how much it ends up doing. Clan improvements are great as well. I'm really looking forward to next month, though. Hopefully we'll see something cool with the Elite Dungeon, but either way, I will be coming out with a new Collection King video, like I said, either tonight or tomorrow, as well as a video on the month ahead August when that comes out, and following up with that, a video for my 120 Slayer series coming out later in the week. Thanks for checking out the video, guys. Let me know of your thoughts of this week's updates in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time. Peace.